Hello and welcome to Craft with Sarah and day 15 of the Halloween Craft Countdown, where I'm sharing a Cricut Halloween paper craft project every day for 20 days. Today's project is this spooky Halloween truck layered paper craft project. This design is free for the next 24 hours. If you haven't already got your free ticket for the Halloween Craft Countdown, head to craftwithsarah.com/HCC to register. If you have already got your ticket, here's how to download this Halloween truck cut file. If you've already registered your free ticket, check for an email from me with subject line Halloween Craft Countdown ticket information, or any of the other emails from me that you have been sent throughout the countdown. Can't find them? Check your junk or spam box to see if they've gone there by mistake. These emails contain the link to view the countdown projects and download today's files. Scroll down this page to find today's project. Click the button to start the files automatically downloading to your computer or mobile device. Each download is only available for free for 24 hours after it goes live. If you've missed some, check out the Instant Access Bundle at craftwithsarah.com/HCC bundle, which gives immediate and ongoing access to all of the files and projects from the Halloween Craft Countdown. All downloads come in zip folders. You will need to unzip them before you can upload the files into Cricut Design Space. Once you've downloaded and unzipped the folder, it's time to get the SVG file into Cricut Design Space. Open up Design Space and create a new project, and then go into Upload on the left, and then Upload Image. You can then either click Browse to find the file on your computer, or drag and drop it in. Make sure you choose the unzipped version of the folder, and then go into Cut Files. Then the file to upload into Cricut Design Space is the one which starts SVG. Make sure this is the one you choose because the other two won't load properly in Cricut Design Space. Okay, drag that SVG in, and then it will appear like this with all of the layers one on top of the other. If yours looks different and you can see all the layers next to each other instead, that means you've accidentally uploaded the wrong file type. So if that's the case, click Cancel and then try again, and make sure you choose the one which starts SVG. When it looks like this, press Upload on the bottom right, and then when this screen loads, click on the truck to get the little green border, and then press Add to Canvas. It will automatically spit out all of the layers into the different colours, which you can see down the right-hand side. To resize the design, click on it and make sure your padlock icon is closed. If it's open, then click it to close it. And then you can type either a width or a height. So let's go 5 inches tall, press Enter on my keyboard, and you see the width changed in proportion. To see all the colours used in this design, click on Colour Sync over on the top right, and it will change the layers to be split up by colour instead. There aren't too many colours in this design, but if, for example, you only had one shade of purple instead of the two, what you can do is click and drag the lighter purple onto the darker one, or the other way around, to change all of the colours, and then you'd only need the one shade of purple card. But I'm going to cut mine in the original colours. So let's just undo that and click back to layers. And then when you're happy with the size, go ahead and click Make It. This screen separates out all of the different colours, so you can change the paper size if you want to. And you'll need to do that for every single colour. You can move things about on these mats if you want to position them differently. When you're happy with how everything is looking, click Continue to connect to your Cricut machine, get everything cut out from cardstock, then I'll show you how to stick it all together. Here are all my layers cut out, and I've just laid them one on top of the other to check I'm happy with the colours and I haven't missed anything. We're going to be sticking this together with a combination of glue and 3D foam squares. The glue I'm using is called Collall. I really like it because it doesn't bend or wrinkle the cardstock like some other glues can do. And I put it into these needle tip applicator bottles. They've got super thin nozzles on them, which makes it really easy to get the glue in all these teeny tiny spaces. For the foam squares, there are lots of different brands available. Any will do. I'm using these ones from Dot and Dab, but I have cut them smaller, so This is the full-sized ones, but I've cut a load in half with a pair of scissors, throwing them everywhere, just so that I don't need to use up as many, and it will mean that they fit better. As with all layered designs, we want to start at the bottom and work our way upwards. So let's start moving these layers about. And try and take them off whilst keeping kind of similar layers together. And then we'll be left with just these bottom two. So we've got the solid truck and then the white on top, which is making up these little ghosties. I'm going to use my 3D foam to pop this out a bit from the background. This is my cut in half foam. Just put some around the edge. And as well as putting it around the edge, you need to make sure you put some in the middle of the piece too, because otherwise it will dome downwards under the weight of everything that's about to be stuck on top, and it just won't look as good. But by putting your foam squares in the middle, it means it's got kind of like a shelf to rest on, so it'll all look perfectly flat and give a much better final appearance. It's probably a bit hard to see what I'm doing because it's a white on a white background. But I think this is the only white layer in it, so the rest of it should be a bit easier to see. Now that I've added my foam, I can peel the tops off to reveal all of that stickiness underneath. Gonna line this up and then gently drop it down without pushing or putting any pressure on. And that's because if I hadn't quite lined it up properly, I could pick it up easily and reposition it without damaging anything. But I think I'm happy with that, so I'm going to push down to seal all of the foam. Our next layer is this one, and this is going to be a glue layer. And the next couple will be glued because it's building up the patterned picture in the back of the truck. And again, I'll just line this up. It's a little bit easier with the glue because you can move it around a bit if it's not quite stuck. The next layer is making up the wheels, and this will be a foam layer, I think, but you could get away with doing it as a glue layer if you prefer. So I was a bit hesitant about suggesting the foam because it's going to add extra depth to the pictures in the back, but I think overall it'll be worth it just to have one more level of dimension in there, otherwise it would end up looking quite flat. So once again, I'm putting the bits around the edge and in the middle. Make sure you don't put any pieces in any of the holes in the middle or overlapping the edge, otherwise you'll be able to see it when you turn it over. And we don't want to be able to see this foam, we want it all to be nice and hidden. I think I'm going to cut some teeny tiny pieces and stick it in that candy cane. Otherwise it's not going to have the same depth as everything else because it will just fall downwards. There we go. That'll make it look much better. Even though they're very small and fiddly. And then once again, line it up, use the top of the design. Drop it down and push down to seal when you're happy. Next up is this layer, which will be a glue layer. Again, use the top to line it up because it doesn't go all the way to the bottom. Right. Next, I'm going to do the back of the truck. And this is quite a lot of layers. Here they all are. I'm going to glue all of these, because there are so many, gluing these all together should end up with the same dimension as the front of the truck, which I'll use one level of foam on. So overall, it will look nice and even. Oops. Be careful you don't do what I just did and bend the card around that candy cane because it is quite narrow. Maybe just use one of your fingers to hold it in place when you're adding the glue. Next up is orange. This is a really nice colourful truck design. And if you like this truck, check out my website because I've got lots of other vintage trucks that use the exact same truck design, but they've all got something different in the back for different holidays. And a lot of them are actually free designs. So if you go to craftwithsarah.com/free-SVGs, you'll be able to find them all. And let's see if I can name them all off the top of my head. There is a pumpkin truck for fall. So instead of being Halloweeny like this one, it's got some sort of retro pumpkins in the back. There's one with a Christmas tree in the back, but more like a fir tree. It's not sort of decorated for Christmas. So that's just a really nice classic design. There's a Valentine's Day one with hearts in the back. A St. Patrick's Day one with shamrocks. There's a summer truck with flowers in the back. And I think, oh no, there's an Easter one. It's got Easter eggs in the back. And then soon there will be a New Year's Eve one too. I say soon. It'll be out in December, so it's not that soon, but I'm sure it'll come around quick. So that one will have fireworks in the back of it. Right, I've added all of those colour layers, so now it's just the front of the truck to go, which will again be another glue layer. If you can think of any other occasions to make the truck for, let me know, and we'll see if we can think of any more for next year, because I know these trucks are super popular. Now we're on to the front of the truck, and this is going to be foamed, and because we've got so many layers of card here, but the front is only one layer, using that foam will make sure it's nice and even in that height along there. Be really careful on this one not to get your foam over the holes. It is narrow in places. I'm going to have to cut my foam smaller to go along that top. Oh no, I've got a bit, that's quite thin. Is it thin enough? Yes, just. Love it when that happens. Okay. Be a bit extra careful on this one as well, taking the tops off of your foam. You notice, ooh, see, that just tried creasing, but it didn't, luckily. And then line that one up and stick. So that is almost perfectly level, which is just what I was going for. Next, we've got the bumper for the back, which comes in two layers. We've got a solid one and then the dark layer on top. The solid one will be glued, and that's because it's then the same height as the one on this side, and then we'll foam the darker bit with the details on it. And we'll do that for both the front and the back. And the reason for that I glued that solid one is that I want these to match. So I want them both to show the shadowing underneath to that purple, when you wouldn't have had that effect if you'd have used the foam on the lighter purple and glued the darker one on top. This is the one for the front of the truck. So again, we need our foam. Perfect. Got these little fancy hubcaps, and I'm going to foam the orange. I don't know that it was actually worth turning it over because it's a circle, so it's the same on both sides. But there we go. 1. And if I can ever get my foam off its backing, 2. Oops. There we are. And now the spider web detail to go on top. This is really narrow. So if you'd rather not add it, if you don't have a way of getting your glue out neatly, then you can leave them off and it still looks really nice with, just moved that glue. That wasn't very clever. It still looks really nice just with the orange. But that spider web does bring that spooky Halloween vibe a little bit more. Here we go. And last but not least, Mr. Pumpkin to go on the front door of the truck. And I'm going to glue all of these. You can use foam for the bottom bit if you want, but I quite like this looking like it's been painted or vinyled onto the side of the truck. You know, like this ghost, he's a cricket owner, right? And he's made a vinyl decal for his truck just in time for Halloween. So there's number 2. Lastly, happy pumpkin face. And voila, layered Halloween truck, all finished. I hope you enjoyed this video on how to make this Halloween truck out of cardstock. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel for loads more Cricut and papercraft tutorials. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you tomorrow for day 16 of the Halloween craft countdown. Thank you for watching. Bye!